Hey everyone, I'm going to take a look at the new Player of the Week pack on eFootball. It's another Club World Cup pack. I am also going to review the new nominate contract and match pass players. A couple of people are asking about that. I've had a crazy week, not at any real time, so I'm just going to get this review done first. This is a much easier one to do, and then over the weekend I'll put the time that I need to into the nominate contract and match pass video, because that's a much longer video to do. I'll get that video done as soon as I can, probably Sunday, Monday that'll go live. I'm also going to review the big time players in that big time pack that some people are going to be lucky enough to get. So keep your eyes out for those videos, and 1 or 2 streams coming up as well. But for this one, as always, there'll be timestamps in the description for each player, so if you want to hear about a particular player, click on the description, there'll be a link to take you straight to them. And we've got all 5 stars this week, very generous. Start with one of the lowest ranked ones. We've got a couple of 92s. So we'll start with Martinelli from Fluminense. So he doesn't have a face scan. It's a box-to-box centre mid, which is what he always is. His weak for accuracy's been increased by 1 though. I've had a couple of highlight cards of Martinelli in the past. One from a Brazilian League pack, one was a Showtime, in a Showtime pack, not a Showtime card, just a highlight card from a Showtime pack. Same kind of profile, position, playing style and all that. This one is a bit better than both of those, but the stats are shuffled around a bit. As is often the case, if you got one of those 2 highlight cards, they do have slightly better passing than this one, on auto allocation at least. But yeah, on the whole, this one does have a slightly higher rating, a bit better on the whole, but yeah, stats shuffled around, like I say, not a massive difference. His boost moves GP guys mainly on finishing, defensive engagement. The right column's been mostly boosted, stamina hasn't, but the rest of it has been boosted at least by a bit. And then skill wise, we've got the shooting booster, lovely jubbly. Skill wise, everything except for double touch and 1 touch pass. So we had a whole bunch of new skills added here. For a centre mid box to box, most of the skills that we'd want, but through passing is missing. That's a big miss. So a bit of a shame we've not got through passing. We've got a few shooting skills though. Soul control as well as the lovely ones I have, and then track back, interception, fighting spirit. So we've got a bit of everything, but through passing is the one big miss there. So that's a bit of a shame. And yet again, a lot of these trending cards recently, they're giving them a mid-80s for low pass, which for me is just a little bit on the low side. It's kind of borderline, but that's even if he does have through passing. If you don't have through passing, that is a bit too low for me. So passing is a bit of a concern. He's not great on the ball. Attacking awareness, defensive awareness, both pretty low. Tackling is poor. On the right, pace is decent enough for a centre mid. Everything down the right second kind of okay, except I'd like a bit more physical strength. So there are a few concerns there. Some important attributes aren't quite high enough. He doesn't have through passing. It's not a great card for me. We've not activated the booster though. Does that make much difference? That makes a bit. We've got a bit more ball control. That is important. Finishing, not hugely important on a box-to-box centre mid. Kicking power will help mainly with the shooting. Got a bit more physical strength. That does help. He needs it, but still a bit on the low side. So yeah, all things considered, I mean, if you get the Brazilian League Challenge, he could be a handy centre mid option for your Brazilian League squad. Outside the Brazilian League Challenge, this guy going to be a lot of use to many people? I don't think so. If you're really lacking midfield options for your Brazilian squad, national team squad, could be a handy one for that, I guess. It's not a terrible card, but like I say, I'd like him to be a little bit better on the ball. I'd like his passing to be a bit better. I like the awareness going forward and defensively to be a bit higher, and tackling. And he's lacking through passing, lacking physical strength. Yeah, there's a bunch of things about his card that I'd like to be a bit better. And if you don't get the Brazilian League Challenge, then, you know, it severely limits what you're going to get out of him. So it's not a terrible card, but yeah, to me, it's not the most exciting one either. And next, also from Fluminense, we have an upcoming youngster, Fábio, the goalkeeper. He's just 44 years old. Crikey. This guy's been great at the Club World Cup. Got a face scan, got a boost as well. What's the booster? Saving. Excellent. So yeah, I mean, even without that booster, pretty solid looking keeper with the boost. Pretty nice looking. If you get the Brazilian League Challenge, this guy could be a fantastic goalkeeper option. If you don't, you could certainly do a job for you. He's a tidy looking keeper. But there have been a lot of good trending goalkeepers in Player of the Week packs and so on over the past few months. So yeah, he is good. The stats are good. Unboosted, solid with the boost. Very nice looking. But like I say, with that many good trending keepers we've had and highlight cards, without the Brazilian League Challenge, yeah, I don't know. Is it worth getting that excited about him? What skills you've got? Low punt, long throw, penalty save, captaincy. Most of the skills you can want on the goalie. Yeah, he's looking pretty good. We've had one previous version of Fábio, a highlight card from some kind of Brazilian League pack. This is comfortably better than that one. He's had a big boost from his GP card as well. So yeah, like I say, this is it's a solid goalkeeper. I'm just having a quick check of his physical profile in the background on the eFootball Hub. Yeah, so his arm coverage is 170. So not amazing. but the stats are pretty good. So yeah, I just think this is one of these cards where, you know, if we all got to do the Brazilian League Challenge still, I think this could be a really handy card to pick up to have for that. If you do still get the Brazilian League Challenge, it could be great great addition for you. If you don't, yes, the stats are looking pretty good. Good skills, and it could be a rare one if you're a fan of this guy. I mean, how many more chances are you going to get to pick up a good version of this guy at the age of 44? Don't know. So there are reasons why some people, quite a lot of people, might be quite pleased to pick this card up, and he definitely does have good stats. He's a pretty solid goalkeeper on the whole, but the fact that most of us don't get the Brazilian League Challenge anymore and his physical profile is not amazing, just means he falls a little bit short of being a really good card to pick up. But certainly for a lot of people, it could still be one that you'd be very pleased to have if you do get it. And next is Gonzalo García from Real Madrid. So this guy is normally a right wing forward and a creative playmaker. They've added centre forward as a position. They've also made him semi-proficient at SS, even though he can't position train his cards, which is really, really helpful. And they're changing from a playmaker to a fox in the box. He does not have a... Oh, he does have a face scan. Okay, he's got a face scan. And he's got a booster. What does the booster give him? Well, it gives him awareness and finishing, but that's because he desperately needs both. A bit of acceleration as well and ball control. What's that? Striker's instinct? Yep. So yeah, you got a fox in the box centre forward here, but even with the A form, how good is he? All right, but not amazing. He needs that A form boost, because without the boost, 81 attacking awareness, 83 finishing, that's not great. This is a 5-star centre forward. Not impressed by the awareness and finishing. Those are the two most important attributes. On the ball, yeah, he's alright. Passing, likewise. We'll check his skills in a second. Pace for a fox in the box is fine. Well, he's got a little bit of kicking power, not too much. Bit of physical strength, would like a bit more balance. Yeah, he's got some attributes that are kind of somewhere around the okay to decent level. You could say fairly good in some areas, but the awareness and finishing is super important, and he's just lacking there. He's just lacking there, which is a real shame. They have boosted his awareness and finishing with his GP card, but obviously they've changed the position, so you'd expect that. They boosted his physical and aerial strength as well, but yeah, for a centre forward, not looking too brilliant. As a right winger, has he got the pace? Is he good enough on the ball? Not for me, not looking brilliant. So this isn't a great looking card to me. Let's look at those skills. So we do have a good section of skills here. We've got heading, acrobatic and aerial, so he's got the skills in the air. First time shot, long range curler, through passing as well. He's got a pretty good section of skills for a striker. Really good section of skills actually. So yeah, skill wise we are looking good. And when he gets that A form boost with the attacking awareness and finishing, getting a few more points, he does look like a lot more usable. Could be a handy one for that Spanish League Challenge. Could be a handy option to pick up. I still don't think he's amazing even on A form, but certainly when he is on A form, he does become a lot more usable. But yeah, I can't struggle to see any reason why I would really use this guy. Even in the Spanish League Challenge, he just falls a bit short for me, even on A form. He is decent. I think a fair few people, if they pick this guy up when he is on A form, will find he's a pretty tidy option to have in that Spanish League Challenge. And like I say, loads of skills there. I think the only skills his GP card has got are, I think, double touch, cut behind and turn, and through passing. Apart from that, everything new. So yeah, they're giving him a bunch of skills. He's got a very good section of skills on A form. Could be a useful option for the Spanish League Challenge. You could certainly get some use out of him. A fair few people would, but I think a lot of people like myself, with the options a lot of people have got, like the free David Villa, for example, and I've got a player of the week, Rodrigo, a few other strikers in the Spanish League Challenge. This guy's not going to be anywhere near the top of my list for getting used even on A form, and especially when he's not on A form, it really doesn't look too great to me. But like I say, especially on A form, but even when he's not on A form, some people could get some use out of him. That A form boost does make quite a difference. So yeah, some people might find this guy pretty handy, especially if you're a Real Madrid fan. Could be a very nice one to pick up for that Spanish League Challenge, especially on A form. Could be a useful one, but like I say, to me, with A form, not too exciting. Without A form, really not so keen. And next is Trevoh Chalobah from Chelsea. He has a face scan. He's a build-up centre-back. This guy doesn't have a booster. When he's standard form, he can use him in the English League Challenge though. 6'3", jumping is terrible though, so yes, he's quite tall and he does have aerial superiority, but even with that height and the aerial superiority, 74 jumping means his vertical reach is lacking, so he doesn't look like he's going to be particularly good in the air. He's got a bit of physical strength though. The defensive attributes are fairly solid, pretty decent to be fair. Pace is decent. Yeah, this looks like a solid centre back. Just that a bit of a concern over his aerial ability. And we have had a few versions of Chalobah. We've had a few highlight cards. The best highlight card we've had was in some kind of new transfers pack, which I think was just when he kind of went back to Chelsea after a loan finish, which was a weird one, if I remember rightly. In terms of overall ability, this one's very similar to that one, to be honest, so it's pretty much on the par with the best highlight we've had previously. This one's got a bit more pace, a bit more low pass, a bit more stamina, so maybe this one slightly edges that one. And one or two more skills as well. From his GP card, the boost is mainly right and left column. It's the kind of boost you expect from a trending centre-back. Physical contact and balance are only up by a few down the right column. Apart from that, the rest of the right columns had a nice boost. Left column's been boosted as well. A bunch of attributes down there. Yeah, looking pretty solid, to be honest. Skill-wise, through passing has been added. Nice bonus on the centre-back. And then fighting spirit, that's a good one to have on the centre-back. Very important one. And blocker, likewise, very important. So man marking, search and blocker. Acrobatic clearance is missing. Heading is missing. I think those are the 2 defensive skills he's missing, but he's got most of the important ones, really. Got a good searching skills, and like I say, through passing as well as low lofted pass. A couple of nice passing skills thrown in there. So, yeah, he's not an amazing centre-back. Like I say, the one concern with this guy, the one weakness is that even though he's physically, reasonably strong, he's got aerial superiority and he's got a good height. 74 jumping is not great, so his vertical reach won't be amazing. He won't be terrible in the air, just won't be that great. But apart from that, though, everything else is looking pretty decent. Build-up centre-back for the English League Challenge could be a pretty handy one to pick up. This isn't a top centre-back by any means, but it's certainly a very solid one, very usable one. Unless you've got some really beefy options at centre-back in the English League Challenge or in general, I think for a fair few people, this guy could do a job. So not an amazing centre-back. Concern over his aerial ability, especially with so many people spamming crosses these days. But yeah, it's plenty to be said for him. It's a solid-looking centre-back card, this. And next is Ousmane Dembélé. So, got a face scan, creative playmaker SS. Interesting. So, they've changed it from a right wing forward, prolific winger, made him an SS, changed him to a creative playmaker. They've added SS as a fully proficient position. They've added attack midfield as a semi-proficient position, even though you can't position train him. Yawn. We've had a bunch of player of the week cards at Dembélé, of course. There have been quite a few at this point. To be honest, there have been a lot of player of the week cards that are around about the same kind of level as this one in terms of overall ability. No boost on this one. One or two of them are slightly better, maybe in certain positions. Maybe it's a bit more pace. Maybe it's a bit better on the ball. Stuff, certain areas it might be better. Obviously, these player of the week cards are always shuffled around a bit. But to be honest, all with different profiles. I think it's more one where it depends on the playing style, the profile, the positions that have been added. Obviously, we've had a deep line forward, centre forward. We've had that highlight centre forward as well as the match pass one. So yeah, it depends really not just on how good a version of Dembélé is that you might have, it's also the playing style, the profile that he's been given and stuff. What this one does have over most other player of the week versions of Dembélé is that he's got a bit more physical contact. Got more attacking awareness than most of his other player of the week cards, a bit more stamina as well, but like I say, they do vary a lot. So if you've got a Dembélé card from player of the week that you like, then I don't think you really need this one, unless you really want to create a playmaker version that you want to play as an SS. He's had a big time card obviously just recently that was obviously better than this one. To be honest, his best highlight cards are around about the same level as this one. Most of them are prolific winger, and generally speaking, the prolific winger highlight cards of Dembélé can be a bit better on the ball or have a bit more pace with auto allocation. And like I say, there was a goal poacher from Match Pass as well. It's just a very different profile on that one. So yeah, this is a good version of Dembélé. I don't think it's a question of better or worse. I think it's just like I say, look at the positions he's got, look at the playing style he's got, and the kind of build that they've given him. And it's just a question of, does this suit you better than any Dembélé that you might already have? It might be better for you. I mean, you might prefer a prolific wing version that you've already got, or you might prefer the goal poacher version. It just depends what suits you. But it's a good version, good on the ball. Awareness and finishing are pretty good. Passing is not brilliant. Don't ask too much from with his passing, especially his crossing. Not as quick as he can be, but he's still quick. A bit of kicking power. He's got more physical strength than he normally has. Balance isn't always that high. It's not particularly high though. It's all right. Stamina could be worse. Very two-footed. Skill-wise, what's going on skill-wise? In fact, let's just compare him to his GB card first. And you're not going to believe this, but they've nerfed him on the ball. Who would have thought they'd do that with a winger or this type of player in Player of the Week? But yeah, nerfed him a bit on the ball, but they boosted his attacking awareness, boosted his finishing, boosted his physical contact. So the stats I just mentioned, really. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then skills, dipping shot and Rabona, I think are the two that we've lost. And we've gained long range curler, first time shot, and super sub. So we got a super sub version of Dembélé. Okay, that might be one thing that really appeals about this card to a lot of people. So got some good skills. Long range curler, that's a very nice addition as well. Likewise, first time shot. He's got through passing. it's an interesting one. For me as an SS, I'd like the passing to be a bit better. But below 80 on low pass, even with through passing, I just don't know if that pass is quite good enough to be an SS through the middle there. It might be one where you're going to look at him out wide, pace on the ball, bit of end product, especially with his finishing from either flank, because he's very two-footed, could be very deadly. It might just come down to that playing style. I always say it, and I'm not saying that that's a bad playing style, but I don't personally like that playing style on a winger. So if you share that opinion like me, then you might find this isn't really necessarily the Dembélé for you. But if you do like the creative playmaker playing style in wide positions, it could be a fantastic one to pick up. It's got loads of qualities. He's up there in terms of his overall ability with most of the Dembélé cards we've had. Obviously not the big time, it goes without saying, but it's a good version of Dembélé. I think a few very nice skills they're giving there. Long range curler, first time shot, super sub. So yeah, he's going to feel great on the ball. Quick, bit of end product, super sub. A lot to be said for him. No French League challenge, so that goes against him obviously. But I think this is definitely one of those cards where a lot of people are going to get some use out of this guy in any mode of the game, including divisions and so on, because it's a very good card. Good Dembélé cards always are. And like I say, it probably just comes down to the kind of profile and the playing style and so on that they're giving him. But if the playing style and everything else works for you, this is certainly a very interesting Dembélé. Some nice skill additions, and I think a lot of people will be very pleased with this card if they get it. And I imagine a lot of people will be very pleased with this card if they get it as well. Arda Güler, face scan, orchestrated this time, changes playing style. He's normally a classic 10. His GP card still has that classic 10 playing style. And they've changed him from an attacking mid to a centre mid as well, but he's got both positions anyway. It doesn't really matter what his registered position is. We've had a few versions of Güler at this point. I've had a few player of the weeks. Again, like with Dembélé, different profiles. I've had a whole player, I've had a creative playmaker, I've had a goal poacher. This one, in terms of overall ability, is up there with his best player of the week cards. But again, the stats are all shuffled around from one to another. So I think in terms of ability, the one thing I'd say in terms of his player of the week cards, this one's got the best passing. Got very nice passing, but they are all shuffled around. Again, like with Dembélé, depends on what play style you want on Güler, how you plan to use him and stuff. So you might prefer one of the other versions, but certainly a lot of people would like this one. There's a very good version of him. If you compare it to his highlight cards, you've had a Showtime one in some kind of Turkey pack that was obviously better. But outside of that, there's a very old no-name contract 3-star. Clearly nowhere near as good as this one. I still got that one actually. But apart from that, I've had a few highlight cards since then. Similar to this one, probably I would say if this one's slightly better to be honest overall, but again, depends on what kind of build you want. And you can't train this one. And all these highlight cards are classic 10, which you might prefer to orchestrate, you might not. I personally do, but I think a lot of people will be very pleased with this one though. How usable is he as a centre mid orchestrator? That's the question. Or is he going to be, are you going to get more value out of him if you push him forward without an active playing style? Again, I'm going to do that video soon on the inactive playing styles. But yeah, attacking mid without an active playing style with the ability he's got, looking at the attributes, that could be a nice way to use him. But even though he's not the quickest, he could use him wide right as well. I think quite a few people might quite like this guy wide right. Certainly attacking mid. But to be honest, centre mid, he could get away from there. But the thing with the centre mid, I always say about his types of card, he's defensively poor, he's physically poor. Defensively, no real skills there. So you're going to play him that deep? I think it's a waste. But I think it just comes down to what kind of midfield setup you've got. If you've got one or two midfielders behind him and you just really like a player like Güler with the orchestrated playing style, roaming around in the middle of the park, playmaking from deep, as long as you've not got too much defensive responsibility, good on the ball, good passing, everything else looking okay, could be very nice. But yeah, like I say, push him a bit further forward, forget about the defensive stuff. Everything down the left looking pretty good. Down the right is looking fine as well. I think he looks pretty tidy to be honest, this Güler. Let's look at his skills quickly. We've lost Marseille, Turn and Sombrero. I imagine Marseille, Turn, quite a few people will be disappointed to lose that. We've gained Heel Trick and Fighting Spirit instead. For me, that's a good trade. I really like Heel Trick. Fighting Spirit's an important one. We've got one touch and through. We've not got low lofted or weighted. Bit of a shame, but one touch and through, the most important passing skills. Long range curler, soul control. Yeah, lots to be said for this Güler card. As a playmaker, he's very well equipped. Like I say, wide right could be handy. It's just whether he's got enough pace for you, and whether you mind the fact he won't have an active playing style. He is good on the ball though. He's got that end product with his passing especially. Finishing 75, not amazing, but he does have long range curler. I personally think that, he could be a handy one from the right. He could certainly be a decent deep line playmaker depending on what kind of role you're going to give him within your midfield. But as an attack midfielder without an active playing style, he could be very handy indeed. It's one of the better versions of Güler that we've had. Plenty of qualities. That passing as well is looking pretty nice. He's going to be nice on the ball. He's going to be able to pick a pass and create chances for you. And yeah, it just might come down to, if you've got a good version of good already, it might just come down to the playing style and the overall profile. But I think for a lot of people, especially for that Spanish League Challenge, this could be a very interesting card to pick up. Got a few ways you can use him, so he's quite versatile. Stats looking good, skills looking good. Yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty popular card, this, and I think a lot of people will be very, very pleased with it if they get it. And now back to the boosters. We've got Achraf Hakimi. Let's boost him straight away. Technique, I'm calling it. There we go, technique. Right, so we've got technique booster. We've got a face scan. He's a fullback finisher. His player of the week cards, he often gets changed to attacking fullback, but he's got his usual playing style this time, fullback finisher. Again, there's no league challenge for these PSG players. That does go against them, but it's a good card. So you can certainly use this guy outside of the league challenge. You use him in divisions and so on. He's got a lot going for him. And again, like with some of the other cards we've been looking at, we've had a lot of player of the week cards of Hakimi. A lot of them around the same level, but to be honest, with the booster on this one, when he gets his aim form boost, it probably gives him the edge, and I think makes him the best player of the week version we've had of Hakimi. But like I say, some of them are attacking fullbacks, so that playing style might change your mind on that. For me personally, highest rated that we've had in player of the week when he's boosted, yes. The best though, just based on that playing style, for me personally, no, I prefer an attacking fullback version. But it comes out to that playing style. If you like a fullback finisher, this could be a fantastic one for you to pick up. Again, we've had a Showtime version of Hakimi that's better. I seem to be saying that about more and more players these days. They're just kind of furthering that divide between the paid cards and free ones. But yeah, highlight wise, you look at his best highlight cards, they're pretty similar to this one, to be honest, but they kind of, the auto allocation on those highlight cards goes a lot heavier on the lower body attributes, which tend to be nerfed on these player of the week cards. But if you look at his best highlight cards and you kind of try to retrain them to match all the attributes on this player of the week card, you would struggle. This is a really good looking version of Hakimi. As I mentioned with these cards, the lower body does tend to be nerfed, and they have nerfed his lower body stats compared to his cheaper card, at least his speed and stamina. So they've been nerfed a bit. You can afford that though, because it's still over 90 before your game plan boost. They boosted his balance a bit, unusual for a player of the week card. Physical contact as well, that's good. So that's up to 76. He's had a really nice boost to his on the ball and passing, low pass attributes. Even before the booster, they've been boosted, but especially with the booster, looking really nice there. If you've got an 89 rated manager, that dribbling is going to hit 90 when he's in A form in your game plan, so that's nice. Very nice on a fullback. And then skill wise, they've taken away, I think, scissors feint, long throw, and penalty specialist, and they have given him double touch, soul control, through passing, and interception. Okay, so yeah, what you've got here, I think, is you just got to, I think if you look at the overall profile and the skills he's got, soul control is a nice bonus, double touch there, but through passing, pinpoint crossing when he goes forward, and defensively interception, slide attack, acrobat, clear, fighting spirit, pace, bit of physical strength, balance, stamina. Defensively, I would like a little bit more awareness, but apart from that, he's looking pretty solid. But going forward, he's, for a fullback, especially with that dribbling, really nice. And then low pass is pretty decent. Yes, he's got pinpoint crossing, but 74 lofted pass, he won't have a great cross on him. But I think this guy's got a profile that really suits his playing style. I don't always say that, but fullback finisher, he's going to be drifting inside when he gets forward up into the midfield, and at times he'll go all the way forward into the penalty area when you get forward. He'll roam around a lot. It's not a playing style that everyone likes, but if you do like it, I think this guy's got a really good playing style for it, because he's going to carry the ball really well. He's got through passing. He's got a pretty reasonable low pass attribute there, but he can defend. He's got stamina as well to get back, and he will need to get back because he's going to be drifting out of position a lot. This is a really good card if you like the fullback finisher playing style. As you would have seen if you saw my last video, or one of my last videos, I can't keep track, but I was looking at playing styles, and with the fullback finisher, there's not much you can do to stop him from roaming around. So if you don't like that playing style, like I don't, then this might not really appeal to you just because of the playing style. But if you do like a fullback finisher with the attributes this card's got, especially on A form, and pretty good such skills as well, interception is as important as any, but they've added a few decent ones there. This is a very good version of Hakimi. So yeah. Shame we can't use them in the French League Challenge, and there will be people who don't like the fullback finisher playing style, but I think it's a very nice Hakimi card. If you do like that if you don't like the fullback finisher playing style, if that works for you, really nice card to pick up. I think the profile all comes together very well, fits very well. So yeah, lots to be said for it. One or two negatives like the League Challenge and the playing style for some people, but for a lot of people, this is a very nice looking Hakimi card. And another PSG card next, Désiré Doué. Again with the face scan, he's a deep lying forward, centre forward this time. So he's normally an attacking midfielder and a whole player. They changed him to a centre forward and a deep line forward. They've added both centre forward and SS as fully proficient positions. They put his weaker foot accuracy up a bit. And it's a pretty interesting looking card of Doué's. So we've had a few versions of Doué. I've had a player of the week that was a centre midfielder and a whole player. Very different profile. Not as good as this one. He's about 2 lower overall, to be honest, but different profile. This one obviously can't play centre midfielder, whereas that one can't play centre forward or SS. So yeah, hard to really compare. There's not a massive difference between the two, but this one is a bit better overall. I've had a Showtime Duo, which is obviously better than this one. It also had loads more positions. You could play in all kinds of positions. What else we had? We've had a recent highlight card from some kind of legend box, pretty similar overall. You can train it to be pretty similar in some positions, depends which kind of stats are important to you. And we've had an old highlight card from when he was at Rennes in France, wasn't quite as good as this one. So yeah, so a pretty solid looking version of Doué. You know, tidy on the ball, awareness and finishing pretty decent. Passing, depends how you're going to use him. Certainly for an attacking midfielder, his passing is not good enough, but as an SS, borderline. Centre forward, has he got the awareness and the finishing? Maybe, kind of borderline. I think it's one of these cards where you just got to ask yourself which positions you're going to be good in. Is he really a striker? Is he an SS? Is he an attacker mid? He's kind of got a bit of everything, really. Kind of looks like he can do a decent job in any position. One thing I will say about Doué is that what other people seem to say, I've not been fortunate enough to pick up a good version of him yet, but everyone seems to say he feels really nice on the ball. So this could be one of these cards who just plays a little bit above his stats, and in which case it could be a pretty handy one and a versatile one. What have they done skill-wise with him? Sombrero and Scotch Remover gone, and we have gained long-range shooting and outside curler. So pretty good touching skills. He got one touch and through. Heel trick and outside curler are very handy ones to have. Long-range shooting, accurate finishing, soul control. Yeah, a pretty decent selection there. I don't know if he's a centre forward. There's no first time shot. There's no long range curler. Yes, he's a deep line forward. He's going to be dropping deep, getting involved in the build up. But still, any kind of centre forward, first time shot and long range curler are important ones to have. So I think for me, this guy's an SS. You could play him wide left as an SS. You could put him wide left or wide right as an SS. But certainly from the left as a right footer, cutting his side into his right foot, looking at the attributes, bit of pace are going to be pretty nice. And the ball's got a little bit of physical strength as well. Could be pretty handy coming off the left flank as an SS, but with that deep line forward playing style as an SS, not sure how well that worked from wide left, to be honest, but I think that's probably the best way to use him, either just behind or just to the side of the attack. And make use of the fact he's got a bit of everything. You know, he's not quite got the awareness and certainly the finishing without first time shot and long range curler to be an out and out centre forward for me. I think he would be lacking for those reasons. As an attacker mid, I don't think his passing quite makes the grade, but as an SS, lurking around in those areas just behind the attack or just off the attack, I think he's got lots of qualities. He could be a very decent one. Again, there's no French league change. That does go against him. It's a big shame. But it's a pretty tight looking card. And like I say, if I'm just looking at the stats, I'd say, yeah, it could be a useful one. Look kind of decent. But just based off the fact that everyone who's got a good Doué card says that he feels really, really nice on the ball. On that basis, I'd say it's probably a pretty good one to have, to be honest. So, yeah, no league change. D-line 4 playing style is not going to be for everyone. Maybe he's 1 or 2 skills lacking, depending on what position you play him in. But he's got a few positions he can play. And based on what people say and looking at the attributes here, if he plays above his stats like his previous cards supposedly have done, then yeah, it could be a pretty good card to pick up. So 1 or 2 negatives there, but certainly some positives there. I think it's just one of these guys who, if you get an opportunity to pick up a good card of his, you may well be very happy with it. And next is new Chelsea winger Estêvão. So he's just been finishing up at Palmeiras, of course, at the Club World Cup. Got a face scan. He's a whole player this time. Estêvão is normally a right wing prolific winger. They've changed it to an attacking midfielder and a whole player. They've added attacking midfield. They've also added right midfield, which is cool. They've also made him semi-proficient at centre midfield, even though you can't position train him. Boring. But yeah, attacking midfield, SS, right midfield, all 3 of those positions, he will be a whole player. Right wing forward, he won't have an active playing style, but you can still play him there. Weaker foot accuracy has been increased. Quite a bit better than the free version of Estêvão they gave us when they had some kind of campaign with Palmeiras when they got licensed a while back. But we've had a couple of Showtime versions that are both obviously better than this one, albeit they do need the total package booster and they have less positions than this one can play. skill-wise. Has he got a booster? No, no booster. Skill-wise, we've lost Sombrero. They always take Sombrero away. Sombrero's gone. I think penalty specialist is the other one's gone. So yeah, Sombrero and penalty specialist, I think we can live without those. We've gained rising shot, one-touch pass, outside curler, and fighting spirit. Of course, fighting spirit. We always get fighting spirit on attacking players and player of the week. But yeah, got a pretty good session skills there. I think through passing is the one I'm missing the most from that list, though. It's a bit of a shame he's not got through passing, but long range curler, long range shooting. He's got a few decent ones on the ball as well. It's going to depend how you use this guy. 82 for low pass without through passing. For me, attacking midfield is out of the question. As an SS, I would still really like him to have through passing, but without through passing, 82 low pass, I think it's borderline. I think a lot of people would certainly get away with him as an SS and think it'd be, and kind of think it'd be fine there. Playing on wide right, I could definitely get away with him there. Pace on the ball, got a bit of end product, attacking awareness, balance is great. Most of the skills you probably want just one or two lacking, but coming off that right flank onto his left foot with long range curler, finishing 81. Yeah, I think he could be pretty handy off the right wing. As a right midfielder, will be a whole player. Wide right forward is an interesting one. Would you rather play him as a right wing forward without an active playing style, or would you rather position him as a right wing forward and then set his position to SS and make him a whole player from out wide? I would guess probably whole player would be better, but it'll be interesting to see the difference for that one. So yeah, you've got a bunch of ways you can use this guy. Basically, attacking midfield is a question mark over his passing, but just behind the attack or playing from the right wing, cutting aside into his left foot, this guy's got a lot of qualities. He's not quite got the physical strength that a lot of attacking players seem to get in Player of the Week these days. So that's a bit of a shame because physical strength is very important in the game these days. But outside of that, pace, on the ball, bit of end product. This guy looks very interesting. Through the middle or wide right. Whole player playing style, active in most of his positions. And for the most part, some pretty good skills there as well. This is a very nice looking version of Estêvão. Probably the last version of Estêvão you're likely to be able to get as a Palmeiras player. So if you still get the Brazilian League Challenge, could be a really good one to pick up. And yeah, plenty to be said for him. If you don't get the Brazilian League Challenge, again, it goes against him. Less ways you can use him, but I do think this is a card that's good enough that you could use outside of that. Things like divisions, certainly in the Europa Brazil squad and the national team challenge. Loads of qualities with this guy, quite versatile. For me, this is one of the picks of the pack. I think it's a really tight link card, and it might be my overall pick, to be honest. I think it's a really nice one. I'd be very pleased if I get it. I imagine a lot of people will be very pleased if they get it as well. Then next we have Cole Palmer, who has his regular playing style. So he's a playmaker, got a face scan, of course, and we're back to the boosters. He's got ball control, tight possession, physical balance, ball carrying, something like that. Ball protection, there we go. Okay, ball protection. So, Cole Palmer, I mean, you look at all his Player of the Week cards. His best Player of the Week card is a whole player. Not quite as good as this one, but it's very similar, very comparable to this one. If you prefer the whole player playing style, that will be better for you, really. We've had a couple of Showtime versions of Palmer. The recent one's better than this. The older one's pretty similar, to be honest. You look at his best highlight cards, you're basically looking at the match pass one, some kind of MVP one that was, and one from a fairly recent Chelsea club pack. They seem to stop doing those club packs for some reason. But yeah, those two best highlight cards of Palmer as far as I can see, and they're not far off this one, to be honest, pretty similar. They boost from his GB card. Physical contacts are the biggest boost, and defending. Awesome. He's got a bit more pace, slightly nerfed his on the ball attributes. Obviously we get some points back with A4 now, which is generous. But yeah, obviously they put a few points here and there, improved him a bit overall, but the biggest boost, like I say, is on his defending and his physical strength, which is really helpful on an attacking player. He's got unwavering form. You can use him in an English League challenge. Skill wise, what they've done, we've lost cut behind and turn and chip shot control. We've gained double touch and fighting spirit. So yeah, no major change there. We've got the shooting skills, we've got the passing skills. You can play him on the right. Is he quick enough? Maybe. For me, he always feels a little bit leggy. He's quite a tall guy. So yeah, the fact he's quite a tall, kind of leggy guy, he's not got too much pace. I'm not personally comfortable using my Cole Palmer card wide right. Through the middle though, as an attacking mid, is the passing good enough? Yeah, probably. I like to be able to hit the 90 mark, but you're close enough there. You've got one touch and through. On the ball, he's nice. Attacking awareness and finishing both good as well. This is one thing with Palmer, is that you kind of look at him, he's quite often you think, okay, is he good in the ball? Can he pass the ball? But with the awareness and the finishing and the shooting skills he's got, this guy's got good shooting for an attacking mid. So yeah, all things considered, I mean, he's a good attacking midfielder. SS likewise, he's got the awareness and finishing, and his passing is very good at SS, just behind the attack. He's very well equipped for that role. And then centre forward, no active playing style. The awareness and finishing good enough. Awareness maybe borderline, but finishing not so much. But he does have those shooting skills, so on the whole, you could certainly get away with him as a centre forward. But yeah, creative playmaker apart from centre forward. All other positions, he will be a creative playmaker. If that playing style works for you, if you don't mind the slight lack of pace, he could be handy on the right, through the middle. I think as number 10 is where he's going to be best. It's a good Cole Palmer card, this. I can't speak properly. Cole Palmer. Yeah, it's a good Cole Palmer card. Versatile, I think mainly best through the middle. It's one of the better Cole Palmer cards that we've had. English League Challenge could be a very useful one to have. Yeah, if you want a good Cole Palmer card, if you've not got one, this is a very good one to pick up. If you've already got a good one, you might feel you don't need this one. Like I say, the best player of the week card previously of him as a whole player, you might prefer that playing style, but this is a good version of him. It's got end product. He can play down on the right or through the middle. And yeah, if he's one for you, if he suits you, could be a very, very useful one to pick up, either for the English League Challenge or even outside of it. It's not going to be for everyone. Like I say, he does feel a bit leggy to me, quite tall and a little bit awkward on the ball. I prefer shorter, more nimble players. So if you share my feelings on that front, then you might be similarly not so excited about this card. But if you're not bothered about that, you're just looking at the attributes, you don't mind the fact that he's got that kind of physical profile, being tall and leggy, then yeah, down the right through the middle, English League Challenge especially, could be very handy. It's a good version of Palmer, so it's a good card in the whole. And finally, we have Mbappé. Hooray! So, goal poacher Mbappé, got a face scan, I'm moving form, Spanish League Challenge. Yeah, it's another Mbappé card. I would love to get excited and go into detail on what's really amazing about this Mbappé card, but it's just another Mbappé card. If you've got an Mbappé card, you're happy with it, save your coins. Is there anything about this Mbappé card that makes it different? Not really. They've boosted him a bit. Where have they boosted him a bit? His kicking power has been boosted a bit. He's been boosted a bit on the ball. His stamina's been boosted a bit. That's about it. They've nerfed his dexterity attributes, so his attacking awareness, his balance, and his acceleration have been nerfed a bit from his GP card and auto allocation, but all those attributes are still high enough. Balance maybe is a little bit lower than you might like, but it's fine. Certainly acceleration and awareness are fine. They're good. They've taken 1 point away from his finishing. Why? But again, that's still high enough. So yeah, it's just another Mbappé card. It's great, all these attributes. He's looking pretty good. And if we look at the skills, they've taken away Rabona, gamesmanship, and captaincy, I think. And what have we gained? Super sub, fighting spirit, aerial superiority. I think aerial superiority is new, isn't it? Interesting. So we've not got heading, but we've got aerial superiority. And his jumping's not great. He's not strong physically. His heading's 62. But yeah, aerial superiority, excellent. That's a really useful addition. Although he doesn't really need it because he's one of those strikers that always beats your centre backs to headers when you play against them online. But yeah, skill-wise, is that what you want on Mbappé? Do you really want an Mbappé who's got super sub, fighting spirit, aerial superiority? I mean, super sub's handy. Fighting spirit's a good one to have. Aerial superiority, it's not a bad one to have, but it's not got long range curler. It's not got soul control. We had 1 or 2 versions in play that we had a long range curler. It is an important one to have. So yeah, some interesting additions to the skills. And yeah, it's obviously is a great card, but I always say when we get players like Mbappé and Player of the Week, what can you really say? We've had that many versions of him. It's just another good version. Is it a good version? Yes. It's obviously a great centre forward, and it's a good version of Mbappé. And maybe those skills they're giving him will be great for you. But if you've got another version of Mbappé and you're happy with it, I don't think you need to spend coins trying to get this one. There's not a lot more to say. There's nothing about this card that really makes him stand out from other Mbappé cards. But like I say, if you've somehow managed to avoid getting a good Mbappé card up to this point, this is a great one. You'll be very pleased if you get it. It'll be a very handy one both in the Spanish League Challenge and in general. But I'm not sure that many people really need an Mbappé card. But like I say, it doesn't change the fact that it is obviously a great centre forward card and a good version of Mbappé. So there is your Club World Cup Player of the Week pack. I'm guessing this is the last one. They don't normally do Player of the Week packs at the semi-final stage. I'm guessing the next one's the inevitable Showtime pack. But yeah, I think it's a pretty decent pack to be fair as far as Player of the Week packs go. Obviously Mbappé is a great card, not the most exciting one because you don't really need an Mbappé card, but it's obviously a great card. Likewise Palmer, very good card. Estêvão, that to me is probably my pick. That's the card I want. It's like a really neat card to use, wide left or through the middle. Désiré Doué, statistically doesn't look that exciting, but he does look pretty good. And like I said when I was reviewing him, everyone who's got a Doué card says he's amazing. So that's probably going to be one of the more popular cards in this pack. Albeit you might not be a big fan of the deep line forward playing style, as I'm not. Hakimi, likewise, the playing style might not suit you. If you do like a fullback finisher, that fullback, it's like a very good card. That Güler, again, I mean, it's the same case with a lot of these cards. Does the playing style work for you? Or is it really irrelevant? Are you going to play him as an attacking mid or a right winger anyway and not have a playing style at all? Very good card of Güler's, regardless. The profile might not necessarily suit you, but yeah, there's a lot to be said for that card. It's another nice one. Dembélé, likewise. SS, creative playmaker, a bit different to most Dembélé cards. Could be a very nice one to pick up. Chalobah, solid centre-back. Garcia, meh. If you're really desperate, could be a useful option in the Spanish League challenge, I guess, if no one else has got form out of your Spanish League strikers. Fábio, I think a lot of people, just because he's 44 years old and there's not going to be many more chances to get one, could be a fun one for a lot of people. I think quite a few people will be quite keen to pick him up. A very useful option for your Brazilian League squad as well. Not an amazing keeper, mainly because of the physical profile, but certainly the stats are good. He's a very solid one. And then Martinelli, probably for me, Martinelli and Gonzalo García are the two duds, really. I don't think Garcia is that exciting, and Martinelli, for me, just doesn't quite really make the grade. So you've got a couple there that obviously the two lowest rated, so it kind of figures, but those two to me, kind of duds, really. They're not the best cards. But I think just about every other card in this pack might not necessarily have the playing style, the profile for you, but every other card in this pack I think is at least decent, if not good. So yeah, it's one of the better packs we've had in a while. That kind of stands to reason where it's kind of based on the quarterfinal stage of the Club World Cup, so you expect it to be a pretty decent one. I think it is, to be fair. You know, I'll criticise the packs when they're not so great, but you got to praise the ones when they're good, and I think this is a fairly good one. So yeah, there you go. Let me know what you think of the pack. Always interested to know your guys' thoughts. Let me know who you've spun. Thank you for watching. As always, do hope you found this useful. As I said at the start, I will be reviewing the Match Pass nominate contract players next. I'll try and get that done as soon as I can. I will then review the big time players that are in that pack, the 300 player pack. And I will try and do 1-2 streams as well. It's been a crazy week, but I'm going to have a little bit more free time over the next week, hopefully. So yeah, whether it's a video or a stream, hopefully I'll be seeing you soon. Have a fantastic weekend. Jump in the Discord if you're not already there. Thank you again for watching. Really appreciate it. I will see you next time. Take it easy.